the Opubco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell, and we're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. You can go online anytime and order your pizza at papajohns.com. Time for We Pick 'em, and Barry, we have got 4 fantastic NFL playoff games, and oh, by the way, the national championship game in college football. Let's get right to it with those NFL playoff games. Starts out on Saturday at 3:35, Baltimore heading to New England. Who wins this one?
Well, this is a fantastic game, and I'm taking the Ravens in the upset. Baltimore is a team built for January. This is a franchise that knows how to win playoff games. Joe Flacco, he's sort of a mediocre regular season quarterback, but in his last 5 playoff games, 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's a big-time playoff quarterback. The Ravens have played the Patriots 3 times in the playoffs in recent years in the Flacco-Tom Brady era. The Ravens are 2-1 and missed a 32-yard field goal in the game they lost that would have won that one. So I think Ravens have New England's number. I'm taking Baltimore in the upset.
Well, this is a tough one to pick. And I took New England strictly just because of home field. I think that definitely means something, although Baltimore already went on the road and beat Pittsburgh. But New England, to me, is a step up from Pittsburgh. New England has been playing fantastic football pretty much ever since their early season swoon. I still have in my mind's eye Bill Belichick being asked if he was considering quarterback changes and looking at the question asker like they were completely insane, and I think we know why. But that's a heck of a ball game to start. Although this one's not bad either, Barry. Carolina goes to Seattle. That's a Saturday night game, 7:15 on Saturday. Who are you taking in this one?
You're a little bit more excited about this one than
All
I
right.
am. I mean, you said 4 fantastic games. I think we got 3 fantastic games in this one.
Okay,
I wish this was the Saturday afternoon game, for crying out loud. America wants to watch the Ravens and the Patriots, not Carolina-Seattle. Now, I do think it's going to be a competitive game because the Panthers play defense. Of course, we know all about the Seahawk D, but I think the Panther defense will keep this game close. I just don't think Carolina will ever challenge enough to make you think they can score enough to get it done. These teams played earlier in the year. Seattle won 13-9. I'm not sure we can find enough points to match that on Saturday. I'm thinking more like 14-6, something like that. Seattle wins it.
Yeah, I'm going with Seattle in this one as well. You know, I think the one thing about a Saturday evening game that you can say about the Seattle folks, they're going to be ready to go by 7:15. They're going to be fired up. They're going to be probably liquored up a little bit. I think that home crowd in Seattle, the 12th man, will definitely bring it against Carolina. I like Seattle, but I tell you what, the only sort of interesting variable in my mind is that Seattle apparently has become sort of ground zero for other NFL teams coming in and maybe thinking about pilfering coaches and general managers and, you know, those sorts of things. I wonder if there's any distraction out there. I don't think so. I think Seattle's used to handling distractions. That's the one little variable I'm curious to see. How do they handle business getting ready for this one with all that going on? All right, Barry, that high noon kickoff on Sunday, it's Dallas at Green Bay. Yikes, Ice Bowl, it cometh, Barry.
What a ball game, what a ball game. 47 years since Dallas and Green Bay played at Lambeau Field, New Year's Eve, 1967, played for the NFL championship. This was before the merger, and the famous 16 below temperature at Lambeau, and Green Bay wins 21-17 on Bart Starr's quarterback sneak at the end of the game. Dallas has not been to Green Bay since for a playoff game, and this is a rousing game. Romo and Rodgers and those great offenses. Neither team's great on defense. Unless the elements intercede, I think we're going to see a lot of points. I just can't go against Aaron Rodgers. He's the best football player in the NFL. Green Bay rarely loses at home, hasn't all year. Dallas unbeaten on the road, but Tony Romo has come a long way, but still, give me Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I like Green Bay, and I don't know that this one's going to be another Ice Bowl, but as we know here in Oklahoma, there's a bit of a cold front coming through, an Arctic blast, if you will. I did not check the temperature in Green Bay, but I know that in Minneapolis today they were looking at well below 0. I have a feeling that Green Bay will probably be experiencing something along those lines on Sunday. So I think Green Bay is the better team, but this is a heck of a matchup. I mean, what a fun matchup. 2 powerhouses, 2 long-term, just those types of franchises that make you think of the longevity of the NFL. It's going to be a lot of fun on Sunday. As will this one, Barry. Indy going to Denver. You got the matchup of all matchups of quarterbacks here.
This is an underrated matchup, and the history of of quarterbacking with these two franchises is rich. Peyton Manning, of course, an Indianapolis icon, a Colt legend, shifted over to Denver 3 years ago, has remade the Bronco franchises. And what happens to Indianapolis? They luck out and get Andrew Luck, and he's the new Peyton Manning. Actually, I would say he's the new Brett Favre. But premier quarterbacking. This goes all the way back, though, to John Elway. Remember, it was the Colts when they were in Baltimore, drafted John Elway. He said, no thanks, I don't want to play for the Irsay family. Forced to trade to Denver. We know what happened. John Elway became a legend in Denver, and by the way, runs the Broncos today. So the the bloodlines and the plot lines are thick with this. But let's forget all that. Denver hadn't been playing well. Denver has not been playing well down the stretch. Indianapolis has. I like Peyton Manning. I like Andrew Luck even better. In the year of our Lord 2015, I think Andrew Luck's the better quarterback. I'm taking the Colts in the upset.
Well, and I think this is the quarterback matchup is great, but to me, this game swings on Denver's defense. Denver's defense has been better this year than it has been in past years, and I just think Andrew Luck on the road, hostile environment, Denver. I just think that Denver defense has a slight advantage over what the Indy defense is going to be able to do against Peyton Manning. So I'm going Denver, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this one come down to the last possession of the game, who has it and who makes a play. I think the Denver defense gets it done, though. All right, Barry, let's go with the big game on Monday night. Monday Night Football, Oregon, Ohio State, national championship game, 7:30. If you're keeping score at home, who you got in this one?
I think this one is fairly clear. I think just the best team wins, and I think Oregon's the better team. The Ducks, I think, have proven it all year long. I thought the committee was off base when it was infatuated with Alabama, ranked Alabama #1 in the final poll. Oregon, to me, had clearly been the better team. Now, Ohio State, both these teams coming off two great wins. Buckeyes took apart Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game and then stared down Alabama and got it done in the Sugar Bowl. Great win for the Buckeyes. But Oregon has dominated two BCS-level teams, routed Arizona in the Pac-12 title game, and then routed Florida State. Yeah. You got to say this for Florida State. They weren't the team they were a year ago, but they knew how to play close games and win close games.
They didn't have a chance.
They got blitzed by the Ducks. I think the Buckeyes are going to get blitzed by the Ducks. I think Oregon wins big.
Yeah, I like Oregon in this one as well. I thought that they were going to beat Florida State because I just didn't think Florida State was fundamentally sound defensively to be able to handle the Oregon offense, and I just didn't think that Oregon was going to give up as many points as they were able to get. I think it may be sort of similar. Ohio State's, you've got to give it up to Ohio State, playing a third-string quarterback into the national championship game. Urban Meyer, your legacy is strong. It's getting stronger with those type of things, But I just have to think Marcus Mariota, the offense that Oregon brings, the pressure that they continue to throw out there. And then let's not forget, their defense is playing really well too. I like Oregon. I hope this is a good game, but I fear it may not be quite the close game that we hope because Oregon, I think, is just a better team than Ohio State, and I like them to win on Monday night down in Dallas. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.